Let's talk about Lucifer and the Age of Lucifer that we're about to enter right now. We have been entering the Age of Lucifer. Actually, was not really familiar with this concept. I saw some discourse online talking about that, and it makes some sense if you know what we are talking about. Thank you for watching, by the way. Esoteric Cloud for here, spiritualist in the house. Get readings and consultations with me using the email, the link tree, and Instagram down below. So first, before we talk about the Age of Lucifer and whatnot, we have to understand what Lucifer is. Lucifer is a religious concept from Christianity, and in Christianity itself, Lucifer is an angel, a fallen angel, that was casted away from heaven. And it's usually used to be an opposition to God, a reflection of God, or the devil itself. But the devil in itself is always associated with an opposition of God. And you have to know something about Christianity and Jesus Christ. It's all astrology. Jesus is the sun, the 12 disciples are the 12 houses, and for an example, the whole pathway, the whole walk that Jesus does with the cross is the sun going through the 12 houses. So if we understand that Jesus, God, is the sun, where is Lucifer? What is the opposition to the sun? It's Aquarius, because the sun is rules Leo, the fifth house, and the opposition of Leo is Aquarius. The opposition of the sun is Saturn, because Saturn is the planet that is further away from the sun that affects us 100%. Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus, they are further away from the sun than Saturn, but they are only co-rulers. They are already too far away from this system, from our system, to really affect us. So they only affect us a little bit. That's why they are only co-rulers. Neptune co-rules Pisces, Uranus co-rules Aquarius, and Pluto co-rules Scorpio. They don't rule anything like Mars rules Aries and Venus rules Taurus and so on. So Saturn is the opposition of the sun, is the furthest away of the sun. Spiritually, it means that Saturn type energy, Saturn type archetypes, characteristics, spirits that are from Saturn, they have the hardest time to relate with Earth like and Sun like spirits. That's why Capricorns are so private and so much to themselves, and they care so much about money and structure. They can't really socialize. And Aquarius, yes, they can socialize, but they are seen as weird, too much, too extravagant, ghosting people. They want to be alone, but also together a lot of times, because those are the signs that Saturn rules. So Capricorn opposes the moon, Cancer, and Aquarius opposes the sun, Leo. So the Saturn signs, Aquarius and Capricorn, they oppose what's closer to us, the sun and the moon. Yes, Mercury is closer to us than the sun, but what we do every single day on the sky, what we experience every single day in the sky, it's the sun and the moon. So spiritually speaking, the sun is closer to us than Mercury. So we have the internal side of Saturn, Capricorn, opposing the moon, the closest body to us, and we have the external side of Saturn, Aquarius, opposing the sun, the most important celestial body for us, the sun. And religion, most religions are sun worshipping or sun awareness. Not everything is sun worshipping. And why it's sun awareness? Because the sun is what allows religion and astrology to define the best patterns. Because day and night, cycles, it's because of the sun and the moon that we can see and make spaces in the sky and see other bodies of light and make comparisons. So they are the most important. So Lucifer specifically is Aquarius, because it's also the bearer of light and whatnot. And so sometimes people think bearer of light, so that's the sun. No, it's not the sun. The bearer of light is not the sun. The sun is the light. The bearer of light is like a reflection, somebody that has the light, but it's not the light. And that's Aquarius. In this case, it's also known as the water bearer. It's basically Aquarius energy can organize the water, can organize the light, can direct the water, direct the light. So if Lucifer is Aquarius, because it's the opposition to the sun, and sun usually is Jesus Christ, what it means, the age of Lucifer? Well, it's the age of Aquarius. And what does that mean, age of Aquarius? It means a lot of things, right? But we can compress it down to some key words. And very important to know about those things because Pluto is now in Aquarius. So we are coming in face down to earth to that age of Aquarius really into our lives right now. And why Lucifer though? Why age of Lucifer? Why this negative term? First, it's not negative. Lucifer and the devil, they don't need to be bad. You just need to know that they are an opposition to the sun, an opposition to Jesus, a reflection, something similar yet different because it has its own purposes. Of course, in the Bible, it's a bit demonified. It's bad if you are working in devilish ways, but sometimes you need to use a bit of devilish energy to separate from bad spaces, to separate from bad spirits, to separate from bad associations, to separate from your own bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's for another video. So, Lucifer, it's not bad per se, but most people that worship Lucifer do end up going bad paths. Okay? And we have some key important situations to understand about the age of Lucifer, aka the age of Aquarius. First, misinformation or a lot of information. Because misinformation is not really age of Aquarius, but age of Aquarius is a lot of information that can lead to confusion. So, one thing that is really happening right now is the normalization of conspiracy theories. So far and so much that conspiracy theories are stopping to be conspiracies or to be theories. We see some things being real, like the Epstein files and the weird shit they were doing with children and women, and then some other things. So that's something that stopped being a theory. It became real. And other things are not really conspiracies because they're just too silly. They just we have certain things, I can't even think about them right now, but the people became so much into these conspiracy theories, they're not conspiracies anymore. They are just normalized. They're just out there. It's not a real conspiracy. It has no real purpose. It has no real truth or meaning. It's just for the thrill, for the sake of it. And that's really Age of Aquarius type shit. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that Age of Aquarius, aka Age of Lucifer, is bringing to us is the normalization or trying to make cool all the weird stuff that were happening, that was happening behind closed doors in positions of power. And what do I mean by that? So, for example, things that we learned from the Epstein files were happening behind closed doors, right? People didn't believe those, most people didn't believe those things. It was a conspiracy theory until they showed the files. And the reason why they show the files is like expose therapy. They want that to be normalized, and whoever is sharing those files, they want to be seen as honest. They want to be seen as transparent, even though they are not. But they want to be like, oh, those are the bad guys, we are the good guys, because we are exposing the bad guys. But still, they're not the good guys, that's also for another video. But what is happening is, all those weird things were happening while Pluto was in Capricorn. Or not happening, but the conspiracy theories were really strong while Pluto was in Capricorn, because those things already happened. But since Pluto was in Capricorn, that's the internal side of Saturn. That's cardinal Earth, so it's starting. It's a starting point. So things started to be making more sense. People started to connect the dots. People started to see behind closed doors. And now we go into the external side of Saturn, things are expressed, things are transparent. And very, very, very important is to understand that what was being done while Pluto is in Aquarius, while Pluto was in Capricorn, sorry, is the worst that ever has ever happened. Those things with children and women behind closed doors, those things have been happening for a long time, but I do believe, I have no proof, I have no information, but I believe that since Pluto was in Capricorn, it was the worst. Why? Because Mars is exalted in Capricorn. And that's why also those weird things happen in those positions of power, in those organizations, in those governments, behind those closed doors, and not behind your closed door, not behind my closed door, but behind those closed doors where there is a lot of money, a lot of influence, a lot of power, a lot of control, because Mars is exalted in Capricorn. What does Mars represent? Passion, motivation, aggressiveness, frustration, and desire. Mars is always associated with sexuality, power, control, dominance. Actually, Mars is usually associated with masculinity, but Mars is actually more feminine than masculine. It rules Aries and Scorpio, both fire and water signs, and we know those are the internal, the yin sides of spiritual expression, so it's more feminine. I also have a video here on the channel, very old. Maybe I'll do a new one to update on that. That's also for another video. So Mars being exalted in Capricorn means that in places of Capricorn, in places of cardinal internal Saturn, power, control, limits, boundaries, network, association, governing bodies, lawmakers, hierarchy, status, career, being above others, making others below you. In those spaces, desire can be out of control, can be in places where it doesn't make sense, where it's not sacred, where it's demonic instead of spiritual. And why does that happen? Because Capricorn, like I told you earlier, opposes Cancer. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. Moon and Cancer are associated with family, pleasure, commitment, purpose, meaning, wisdom, spirituality, places of comfort, places of familiarity, places of rest, places of care. And Capricorn, if done too far, will take you away from those spaces. People that are too much into Capricorn energies, that doesn't mean that is a Capricorn sun. Just people that are too much into Capricorn energies, anybody, any sun signs can go too far into Capricorn energies, one easier than other, right? But what is too much Capricorn? Caring too much about money, caring too much about status, caring too much about profit, caring too much about efficiency, caring too much about controlling, cleaning, organizing, caring too much about hierarchy, caring too much about you or somebody that you worship being above others. Because then Capricorn also deals a lot with slavery or servitude. You or somebody else, they have this Stockholm syndrome, spiritually speaking, and they want that person, that guy over there, they want them to be over them. They want them to be over everybody else. That's some weird shit, but that's happened. That happens. That's true. So when you go too much into those areas, you start to lose heart. You start to lose care. You start to lose your humanitarian parts, your human parts. You start to lose the ability to regenerate spiritually and emotionally. You start to lose emotion. You start to lose empathy. You start to lose compassion. And then, since there is nothing of that nature, Mars takes over. Because when you are too much into power and control, into money, organization, and profit, and all those things, since Cancer is out of the window, what is the only thing left? Power, pleasure, carnal pleasure, pleasure desired from humiliating others, making others suffer, you being on top of others, you controlling behind closed doors or things happening, you studying how others move so you can catch them and you can make them give you money and power, you can make them worship you. It's some really weird shit that normal people don't understand. And that's good. That's why normal people, they have this distance between rich people, which most rich people are not like that, because most rich people you don't even know about them, and rich doesn't mean billionaires, and those billionaires and trillionaires that you see on the news and in social media, they are like that for a reason. They are in those places for a reason. But there are much more millionaires and billionaires that you don't even know about, and they are good people. They care about their employees, they care about the world, they help the world, but most rich people, really rich people, they don't, because they spend too much time in that Capricorn space that they lost their heart. Or they are around people, they are in certain spaces where they can't use their heart, otherwise they'll lose their status, their money, they might lose their family, they might lose their life, there is some blackmail going on, and all those weird things are done because there is no Cancer, spiritually speaking, astrologically speaking. There is no heart. So Mars is the only thing left, the exaltation of Mars. So the only way for them to feel something is through doing the weird shit they were doing that is now revealed in the Epstein files. And then they try to camouflage it and justify it with some sort of weird religion. No, they just lost. They spent too much time in that internal Saturnian place. They lost their heart, and the only way for them to feel something is through extreme Mars, out of place Mars, out of place aggressiveness, passion, and desire. And that's why they do it with children, they do it with women, they do it with weaker men, because it's all about you doing something to somebody that is weaker than you. Because a real relationship, a real spiritual ship, it's about two powerful beings enjoying the power of each other. But those weird people can't do that. They can't enjoy somebody else's power because that requires your own power. That requires a bigger sense of spirituality and responsibility that they don't have because they spend too much time in those dried up places. So all those weird things were maximized, and people started to see that. People started to create conspiracy theories, or they became more popular to a certain degree while Pluto was in Capricorn. But now Pluto is in Aquarius. So people that were doing this weird shit, or people that were around and are around those people doing this weird shit, now they want to make that look normal. Now they want to make that look cool. Now they want you to know about it so you can feel like it's normal. Aquarius, external side of Saturn. They were doing that in the internal side of Saturn, hidden. Nobody can know about this. If somebody talks about this, they're crazy. And now it's Aquarius. Oh yeah, actually, it's all true. Here we go. Got some proof. Oh, it's so cool, ain't it? Our weird religion. This weird shit. Oh, it's so weird. It's so kinky. It's so... no, it's not. It's some fucking shit. No, get that out of my way. You know what I'm saying? They need to go to jail and hell and hell. They're already there. That's why they do those weird things. That's not normal, and that's not because they have money. They have money. It's not. They're not rich because they are weird. They are weird because they became rich. You don't need to be weird to become rich. You can become You can become rich in any other way. They just focus too much on numbers, on profit, on controlling. That's why they became that weird, like I explained earlier. So now Age of Aquarius can be the normalization of some weird stuff that was happening in Pluto, while Pluto was in Capricorn, I mean. And we can't normalize that. That ain't normal. No, sir. Data centers ain't normal. AI taking everybody's place ain't normal. TikTokification of information, spirituality, and just politics in general, that ain't normal. You know what I'm saying? So, Age of Aquarius is great because it means that the world is transforming right now with Pluto in Aquarius into a place where structure, organization, big groups, big entities will start to care more about the individual, and they'll be more progressive, more humanitarian, while being still logical, organized, and progressive. But also prioritizing cool things, spiritual things, artistic things, but through a lens that is more logical, more cold, but still humanitarian and weird in a good way. But we're still recovering, we're still transiting from all the weird stuff that was made in Pluto in Capricorn. And there was some real weird stuff. Alright? And we just need to look at that, understand that it happened, but also understand that that was not normal. That was weird. Because what's happening right now while we're entering this age of Lucifer is that light can blind you. That light bearer can do some illusions on you, and you can think that light that was happening before, that is normal. That's how it's always gonna be. That's how it's not. That's the point. They want it to make it look normal, but it's not. And it can be different, and it's way easier to make things different than it ever was before. Because now the power of the collective it's much more powerful than before. So it's much easier for groups of people to change things locally or globally. Another thing about Age of Aquarius is, of course, AI and data centers, which AI in itself is not bad. Data centers are bad, at least the way they are being done, but AI can be helpful in the right ways and in the right positions. AI is not supposed to be in every part of our lives. AI is not supposed to be a crutch for your artistic work, for your academic work, for your work in general. AI should be used to optimize information and process. For example, in agriculture, it's awesome. In medicine, it's awesome. Doing studies, for an example, but not running companies that, for example, identify license plates and then they write tickets to people. That's not the way where AI should be. That's a place for people, for discernment. You know what I'm saying? AI shouldn't be making decisions. AI should be reading data. AI should be giving you that data, but not making decisions. Making AI make decisions, it's the wrong way. So, Age of Aquarius is bringing this technology forwards more than ever, but at the same time it can take humanity out of the picture. But that's the normal people don't want that. It's the weird people that want that. And once again, they want to make that look normal, but it's not. And believe me, 90% of people agree with me. Also, Age of Aquarius can bring this global perspective. So when you go online and you see weird discourses and people being mad, you might think that's normal. You might think everybody's like that, but it's not true. Most people that comment negative online are negative people. Most normal people don't comment online. Most normal people don't comment negative shit online. So the reason why you see a lot of negative comments, because that's the most natural thing to happen. It's for negative people to complain online. Normal positive people, they don't comment that much online. So that's another thing that they want to, that it wants to become normal, but that it's not. That people are always mad, people are always pissed, people are always negative. That's not true as well. It looks like that. Once again, Lucifer, bearer of light, illusion, but that's not true. Most people are good people, most people have very good qualities, and most people are just living life. You know what I'm saying? Age of Aquarius will also bring deeper esoteric knowledge applied to reality. So we have growing pains right now, which is a lot of people are or were getting into mysticism, esotericism, astrology, tarot, spirituality, and whatnot as a trend just to be cool or to be funky with it. But now it's going to be more serious and it's going to be easier to apply that to reality. Because the main problem that I do these videos for 7 years now and I learned a lot through my journey, and making videos helped me learn a lot. But the most important thing I've learned is how to apply this to real life. And apply this to real life in a way that it's practical. It's not like doing spells and whatnot so you can get revenge on others, or you can get a certain position, or you can get a new card. No. Astrology, spirituality, magic is just to make you balanced, to make you in a state of equilibrium, making you have more discernment, making you understand reality, yourself, the world, the purpose of the world, the purpose of yourself, the purpose of the things that are around you. And then you get the promotion, then you get the car, then you get the job, then you get this, then you get that. It's not using magic to get that. It's getting magic to get you to get to the spirit, and then from there you get the physical stuff. So now that will become more apparent. Spirituality will become more normalized, more common, better expression, because it's easier for people to think, communicate, and analyze it. It will be easier, even for me, it's easier to talk about this right now. It's easier for me to make sense, and for people that don't know a lot about this, even if they don't understand, They are more open. They are more curious. That's Age of Aquarius. Because it was too much materialistic in the past. It was too focused on reality, too focused on survivability, and now that we see the wave of Gen Z, for example, they care more about a good life than just living. They want to have the job, not just a job. They want their hours, their time, themselves to be respected. Not just, I want to get a job so I can survive. No, I want to have a good life, not just live it. And that brings answer, questions, curiosity, looking, finding, creating purpose. So that's why spirituality will become more normal and more accessible. And also, Saturn is in Aries. Together with Pluto in Aquarius, it means that what we consider normal is changing. What we consider the right way to live life will change. And the main point for me is work. The work perspective, the work world will change because people are tired of working 8 hours per day, even people that get well paid. Working 8 hours per day and then not being able to spend time with your family, having only 1 or 2 months of vacations per year, no flexibility in your life, the work is always in your head is always at work. People are tired of that. And we have some older people that for them it didn't matter. Or it did matter until a certain time and then it stopped mattering because I can pay the bills, I can get food, I'm good, but they're not good. And that happened to me as well. When I was at certain jobs, of course, it depends on the job, it depends on the people that you are with, it depends on a lot of things. But I see majority of people, they get consumed by the job. They lose their spark. They lose their creativity. They start to see the world through cold lenses. They start to see the world in a, oh, it's so harsh. It's so difficult. This world sucks. Why am I alive? This is all shit. It's all shit. It's not. It's not. The world is beautiful and abundant. But how the system was designed to work is to make you think like that. But it's not. And that's why the people are pushing these work changes because working 8 hours, the way that people do work is not correct on a spiritual, mental, and emotional level. Not even on a physical level. We have people like here in Portugal, the retirement age is 66 years. That's crazy for people that work in factories or you have to use your body, or even in the office. Because you either get your body fucked up or you get your mind fucked up. Because working in the office, you have some back pain, but your head, bro, your head is all fucked up. That's also why spirituality being more common, meditation, yoga, doing all these things will be more common to help your mind, to help your body, to help your spirit. And I think the work space will change because people realize we as an individual, I don't need to work that much, and the world does not need so much work because there is overproduction of everything, at least in the developed world, of course, and there is too many jobs that don't really do anything, or that they don't need you to be there 8 hours. They don't need you to be there 6 hours, and AI will help that. I have a vision that AI will take over these jobs that people don't need to be spending all their lives on, and then people will have ways to survive. We always find ways. We are spiritual. We always find ways to survive in one way or another. Either you all get basic income, everybody gets income, and then you can increase in it with your job or whatever. So you don't need a job. You might get a job, but you don't need a job to survive. That's the worst part of it all. That you need a job to survive. You shouldn't. Why should you need to spend 8 hours in a place to survive? To increase your livelihood? Sure, merit, work, get some more stuff, go on vacations, get a car. Sure, but to survive? No, bro. That's dystopian. You shouldn't need to work to survive. Because I'm talking about surviving here. I'm not talking about buying stuff like watches and PS5s. I'm talking about surviving. Alright? You shouldn't need to work to survive. But it will become an option. Because I think people have this vision that AI will take all the jobs away, and that's not bad. Most people hate their jobs. Most people are fucked up in their body or in their mind because of their jobs. And Pluto in Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, will bring that freedom. But also, age of Lucifer, it might look like it's bad. It might look like it's an opposition to what has been good so far. But it's not. If you hate your job, I've seen a lot of memes recently, which is like sad face or a sad scenario, and it's two of the same images with two different texts. And the first text is me with a job, or me without a job, me with a job. And it's both sad scenarios. And it shouldn't be like that. It can't be like that. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro. We got it all wrong. We got it all wrong, bro. That's not how we're supposed to live. And now we take that desire and it's easier for us to make it real, to make it progressive, to make it fair, to make it just with Age of Aquarius. And there are many more things we could talk about, but this video is getting long. And the main point of Age of Aquarius is freedom, intelligence, spirituality made real, reality made spiritual. And that's why I'm here, as a cloud surfer with Aquarius Stellium, spiritual, scientific motherfucker as well, you know what I'm saying, to look at things from a broader perspective, to make things feel lighter without losing that heart, without becoming that cold, weird Saturnian space where they would do weird shit. And we know what weird shit we're talking about, right? So Age of Aquarius can look really bad because it's also the age of Lucifer. I mean, at least what people say online, right? And the age of Lucifer can look bad because it's the opposition of what we have been doing so far. So what looks normal, what looks safe, it's not normal and it's not safe. So the opposition can look bad, but actually can be good. And also, we have to go through growing pains right now, and it's all a transition. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I see you on the next one.